What is up, you guys? It's Serotonin here, and welcome back to my channel. Chapter 139 of Jujutsu Kaisen recently just dropped, so let's not waste any time and get straight into the review. The chapter starts off with our boy Yuji clapping his hands as he seemingly tries to get the attention of some cursed spirits, and boy does he get their attention. As if on cue, monstrous cursed spirits emerge out of the depths of the water below where Itadori was clapping and begin to chase after him.
Hey, she's a runner, she's a track star.
But Yuji, being the track star that he is, handles them easily, leading them across the city and underground, right where he wants them and right where Choso is lying in wait to handle them. I must say though that the whole time I was watching Itadori lead the cursed spirits underground, I realized an aspect that I really enjoy about Jujutsu Kaisen is how Akutami sensei handles change. As I was watching Itadori's facial expressions and just his overall demeanor reading this chapter, it was clear as day that it's not the same happy carefree Yuji that we grew accustomed to at the beginning of the story. Instead, this is someone who has seen the evils of the world, essentially someone who has been through it all and is no longer the same, can never be the same. And as much as I miss the old Yuji with his carefree personality and seeing him happy, I'm also really loving how he is now, because I think a lot of times in manga and anime, the toll that events take on characters, specifically main characters, are often dealt with hastily and unrealistically, where they are down for 1 second and the next, it's almost as if nothing ever happened to them. So it's nice to see how Gege has chosen to handle the effects of the Shibuya incident on Yuji and how we as an audience can clearly see the toll that it's taking on him. But I digress. After watching him in action, Choso begins to think to himself how far Yuji has come in such a short amount of time, to the point where he has even now added a degree of finesse into his combat ability, and doing this all the while when he hasn't fully recovered. Choso eventually comes to the conclusion that with how Itadori is now, he's nothing less than a demon god. Let me just say, for Choso to be saying that, Choso being a beast himself, really speaks to Itadori's growth and how Itadori is now on a completely different level, which I thought was pretty cool. But what really got me between the two is when Choso makes a rather interesting comment. After Yuji asks why Choso is still referring to him as brother, Choso states that, "We fam, whether you like it or not." Okay, let me stop. What he actually says is that I'll keep calling you that over and over. Try to recollect. After all, your father had stitches on his forehead, didn't he? And this statement got me thinking, could this whole brother thing be more than memory manipulation? Or, rather than manipulating Choso's memories, could Itadori have actually awoken Choso's suppressed memories, and something within those suppressed memories is actually leading Choso to believe that him and Itadori really do indeed share some relation? Could this potentially mean that Itadori himself is also a cursed womb painting? I'm not really sure what to think on the subject, but it did bring up a lot of questions, and I'm interested to know what you guys have in mind, so go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below. However, before Itadori has an opportunity to even comment on Choso's remarks, Naoya pops up on the scene, like a tourist who's doing some sightseeing and hasn't seen what he came for. After all, the first thing out of this man's mouth was that he doesn't see Megumi, and then he proceeds to ask if he's the first one here. And oddly enough, I started laughing when this happened because for one, I was like, oh great, another person that only has a one-track mind when it comes to Megumi. And for two, I could start to see the future interactions I'm sure we will be witnessing between him and Sukuna when the King of Curses realizes that Naoya plans to murder his prized possession, Megumi. I'm calling it right now. We will be seeing another know your place fool moment. And I'm not complaining. In fact, I'm actually hoping that it happens. But anyways, Choso and Itadori immediately assume a fighting stance position as Naoya informs Itadori that his death sentence is back on now that Satoru's support is gone. But he lets Itadori know that his business is with Megumi, and so he honestly doesn't care if Itadori lives or dies. Okay, everybody, it is official. Naoya is Sukuna 2.0. Come on now, is this not the same thing that Sukuna said when Mahito broke into his domain? Anywho, after Itadori learns of Naoya's interest in Fushiguro, he gets alarmed and asks him what his exact plans with Megumi is, and Naoya tells him that he wants Megumi dead. Got to love the Zenins, no shortage of family drama there. They genuinely need their own reality TV show, and we all know Megumi would be the only sane one. Moving on though, then Naoya starts to attack them, and Choso realizes that he is extremely fast, but it most likely isn't natural speed, but instead a cursed technique. And right as Naoya is about to up his speed, all three of them, Choso, Itadori, and Naoya, freeze, as they suddenly feel a heavy presence, and Itadori begins to think to himself, is this Gojo sensei? But he realizes it's something creepier. And in reality, it's none other than Yuta Akatsu. So Itadori essentially just called Yuta creepy. But the presence that they were feeling might not be Yuta himself, but Rika instead. And the chapter ends just like that, with Yuta standing on a ledge looking down at Itadori as Itadori looks up at him. All I can say is that it's not looking too good for Yuji, because if he thought that Yuta was Gojo based off of the presence of his energy alone, then he better hope that Yuta is playing some sort of game of chess with the higher ups and that he's not actually there to kill him, because if Yuta actually is there to kill him and Naoya decides to help Yuta, Choso and Itadori are screwed. As much as Itadori has grown, I genuinely don't know how Choso and him would make it out of that situation, which is why I hope in the next chapter maybe Megumi comes into the foray and provides some clarity on the whole Shibuya situation, which then persuades Yuta to save Itadori and go up against Naoya instead. However, I'm not Akutami sensei, so I don't know. But I can't wait to see what happens next week. I do hope we slowly start to learn more about Yuji's origin, not that I think that will be happening anytime soon, and please let Itadori come out of this situation safe. But with that being said, Serotonin signing off. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. I would very much so appreciate it. Catch you all next time.